How do I start my own business?
Being my own brand would be totally legit.
I want to be the next Gary Vee.
My dream is to be on Shark Tank.
I'm just gonna Google it.
I mean, I'm awesome at social media. What could go wrong?
Oh my God.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the next episode of Learning Curves. Really excited today. This is episode 25. Innes, we made it to 25. Woohoo! This is really great. Yes, we are in episode 25 of Learning Curves. I also have a special guest here, Miss Michelle Tolan from our CBD store.
Your CBD store.
Again, your CBD store.
It's yours.
Your CBD store. My CBD store.
Yes, all of ours.
Actually, all of our CBD store. But we're going to hear from her and all about her journey. And we're also going to talk about some of her awesome products that will help you sleep, help you have more fun, help you be relaxed, help you with your pain, all kinds of great benefits that you get from her CBD products. So we're going to learn a lot. I'm really interested in this because I've always wanted to learn more about CBD products because I know I sometimes have issues with sleeping and pain and other things. So this is a great episode. I think that a lot of my listeners will be really interested in learning about. Also want to let you all know that this will be the last episode we'll pick back up in July. I am leaving for Italy for
Awesome.
3 weeks, actually 3.5 weeks, and I'm getting married.
Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you.
Welcome.
So, getting married in Italy and taking the whole crew. So, Innes is coming with me. Aren't you, Innes? And yeah, so we're going to be gone for a few weeks and we'll be back with Learning Curves. So this is the last episode, and I think it's a really great episode of learning all of these wonderful products that I want to take with me on my trip. It'll help me with my nerves and during the wedding and relaxing on the plane. So
For sure.
yeah, so it's going to be great. So Michelle, let's get into the podcast, and let's start by let me learn a little bit about you and how you got started in selling CBD and getting your store off the ground.
Well, thank you so much for having me today. This is my first podcast as a guest, so I'm excited to be here. So, wow, I'm going to say, where do I start? I'd say for the CBD journey, it started after I was divorced, and I was looking for changes in my life in all kinds of ways, and one of them was career. So I became a certified life coach, and I was working on constructing my business, and I did have clients at the time, and I needed a part-time job to make ends meet, and I found this little store. It just opened called Your CBD Store.
I love it.
And I was a little wary because I wasn't quite sure what CBD was. When I look back, the Farm Bill wasn't even passed yet, so it was still a gray area, and I didn't know, does this stuff make people high? But I went for the interview, and I was immediately impressed with just the way the store felt. It was very welcoming. It was very feminine, holistic, and and they offered me good money, so I took the job and thought, I'll try this out and see. And that turned into me running the store a couple months later. And I didn't really, it was a hard decision because I didn't want to stop what I was doing with my coaching. So I thought, I'll do both. Mm-hmm. And then, I don't know, we all know when you say yes to something, you have to say no to something else. You can't do all of it. So there was a point where I'm like, I had to kind of let some of my clients go because I loved it so much. I had a retail background from my 20s. I ran a ready-to-wear store. I don't know if you remember Contempo Casuals.
I remember that.
During like
One
the
of my favorite stores.
During the 90210 times, I was the manager of Contempo with my baby tee and thigh highs in the mall, walking around in the boots.
My favorite place to all kinds of clothes from there.
So, hardworking girls that run those businesses in the mall, you really do learn just about everything about business. They work you to the bone.
Yes, they do. Retail is tough.
So I was never, ever going to do it again. So I'm in the store, cut to now, I'm turning 50 and I'm running a retail store. there's nothing that even compared the two. It didn't feel like retail. The only thing was I was able to put processes in place. I still used a pencil and notebook at first because I did everything the same. And I started implementing, different processes and watching the customers come back saying, their lives had changed. It was hard to believe because I was taking the products and I hadn't really noticed much yet. Like, and people will literally come in and say, I couldn't open the door handle and now my hand's working and I don't have to have this port for pain medicine anymore. And these testimonials were unbelievable. And I was wondering, like, really? And then I started giving it to my 15-year-old dog who had a lot of health problems. And she was in on it too. So like, you guys are all fooling me. No, and I knew that my dog cannot have a placebo effect. She really felt better. And then it started working for me. It did take about 3 to 4 weeks for me to actually start to improve. So it helps me now help my customers realize like it's not a quick fix. You're not popping a pill. It's plant medicine. It's holistic and natural. It takes time. So long story short, I was running the store and suddenly they're opening a second store. The store's doing great. And then the sister-in-law is opening a store. So I'm training all the new owners on all the systems that I put in place in the store and how to run the store and on the products. And after about the 6th or 7th, group of people that came in to be trained, I stopped the owner and said, I want a store too.
Yeah, what about me?
What about me?
It's time.
And they said, we'll help you. And the help was basically, we'll let you do it, but no one had it was not a turnkey franchise or anything like that. This was, a mom and pop shop and you're on your own. So I had to learn how to do all this. It's much different to own a store than it is to work at the mall.
Right.
So I wanted to go back to
a lot more that goes into it.
a lot more. And then when it's CBD on top of it, people don't want to work with you, but especially before the Farm Bill was passed. So I couldn't get a bank. I had a lot of additional
there's additional things that you have to go through. Okay.
And people I talked to said, you might want to wait until the Farm Bill's passed. And I will not jump out of an airplane, but I'm brave in some ways. And I said, I'm doing this. I believe in this. I'm watching these people just completely have their lives change for the better. I'm feeling so good. My dog had the best 1.5 years before she passed, feeling good. I'm doing this, and I'm bringing it to my hometown in St. Pete. So I moved back to St. Pete.
How smart is that, though? I was just thinking how you did start your business before the Farm Bill was passed, because you're getting ahead of all these other people, which I'm sure are thinking about this is going to be a great business, but I'm waiting. But now you're a little bit further ahead. So I just wanted to bring that up. That I think that's really smart thinking.
Yes,
Not to be afraid.
I was the first one, the first brick
fearless.
and mortar CBD store in the area. Our company was the first in the whole coast. And the best part about it is I have my own store that I do what I want with, but I have the backup of an amazing company. And so the buck doesn't stop here because it is medicine. It's plant medicine, but I don't want to just buy things and white label it and say that this stuff works. I have backup. I know that we're transparent. I know where our hemp oil comes from. We follow it soil to oil. It's all there with our lab reports, and I can call the scientists. We're friends. And so I've watched this one little store, by the way, that was founded by a woman in her 30s who suffered from Crohn's disease, and CBD was the only thing that helped her improve. In her whole life change, she had small children, and she could barely parent. She was miserable, and it turned her life around.
That's an awful thing for women to go through.
Really awful for anybody. And so,
especially if you can find a natural way to help you through that, even better.
yes. And so she decided to open a little store, and it turned into, so that was March of 2018 when I started working there part-time. November of 18, I had my own store in St. Pete. December, the Farm Bills passed. Shoo.
Wow. Good job.
Woo! So we're in business now. Today, it is now a franchise. My store's not a franchise. I'm an original affiliate store, but now it's franchise opportunities, and it was listed as Entrepreneur Magazine's top 50 franchises to open, as far as the least expensive to get started and just the easiest, best to work with. So we've been recognized for our business model, and I couldn't be more happy to have ended up making this choice, this decision that, I made just like that. I'm going to do this. And I just, the feeling of excitement and then having it have turned out like these are great people. I guess I knew once their family was opening stores.
Yeah.
It's a sign that this is something to do. Like they know what they're doing. And I'm just so proud of them, this family, and being part of the infrastructure of something so large, but still just having my neighborhood store down the street that I walk to because I live right down the street.
Yeah. And the fact that you knew, you were in from the very beginning of it, and you kind of helped them set the whole thing up and train everybody.
Yes. I go to we had a little conferences, and they were small, and each year we have and now they're at a huge convention center sized room in the Gaylord Palms they had. I mean, it was unbelievable. And I'm like, hey, I know you, I trained you. And they all know me, they're like, you were the first manager and you trained us. And, I came up with the processes. So, I mean, you never know what you're going to do that you're going to use that later, and it's like, wow, all that stuff in my 20s when I was running that store, it all applied. And
It really does. The things that you learn along the way and along your journey, you bring that with you.
And it's nice when you can do that because then you don't have to learn everything all over from scratch.
Right.
Okay, I got that. Now that we learned about CBD, that was something.
Yes.
That was
Yep, bringing something old in that you knew and also bringing in something brand new for you to champion and be part of. That's amazing.
Yep. And I love that because it keeps your brain exercising and fresh. And it's such an exciting business because there's new products being brought out into the marketplace, a lot of them by our scientists. New ways to combine the cannabinoids. There's over 100 of these guys. CBD is just one out of 110. And has just been legal in recent years to actually even study these cannabinoids and what they can do and how you can take them and what dose you should take them at and what combination is right for you. And it's exciting because it's still a brand new frontier.
Yeah.
So
is it probably not as addicting as, people take pain? Obviously, pain pills are very, very addicting. That's a huge problem that we have here in the United States. And I think CBD is another way to go that's probably healthier and less addicting.
Yes, I'm glad you brought that up because I'm really passionate about, plants over pills. You just don't get that instant gratification that you get that when you take a pharmaceutical that's that strong. However, there's a couple ways that CBD can help. One, the reason that you're taking it in the first place is typically pain or some condition that you're trying to feel better. Then the second reason is because you're so used to taking it every day, like you mentioned, being addicted to it.
Yes.
So the things that CBD can do, it can help with the symptoms that you have. CBD is great for inflammation and pain, but it also hits what I like to call the bliss molecule. It's that reward receptor that we have in our brain that the opioid gives us. So it clicks that so that you are not, it helps you with the addiction as well. So it helps with smoking, it helps with, drinking, anything that you, overeating. It when you quit something, the habit part, you have the addiction part and the habit part.
Yes.
Right? So the habit part is you make a ritual out of the CBD. We have it, you can put it in water, make a drink out of it. But the habit part is you would, you take it and you get that reward. So you tend to get antsy when you're craving something.
Yes.
It's just like a restlessness. And I don't know, if you've ever felt it. I've smoked before. I've been a smoker. I'm now a proud non-smoker.
Me too.
Not an ex, non.
Yeah.
I don't want it. You too? That's one of the hardest things, and congratulations, because
Well, I'm still somewhat a social smoker.
okay.
So, I kind of hide sometimes, but when I'm definitely stressed out. So that's my thing, is I'm obviously at an age when I can't go hide in the corner, or at nighttime hide at home when I'm stressed out.
And you're kind of famous, so people recognize you.
Yes, I know. So like, I don't think I over there smoking. I try not to do that in front of people, but I can't even believe I'm talking about it on this show.
You know, I
honestly.
appreciate your honesty and vulnerability, because
Yeah.
there's people out there listening saying the same exact thing. And you know, if you're a true
That's
social,
what this show's about, is being honest.
that's why I jumped on board.
Yeah.
I'm ready to spill the beans too. No problem. When you're a social smoker and a true social smoker,
I'm a true
bless
social
you,
smoker.
because most people can't do that.
Yeah.
If I picked up a Camel menthol right now, I would want another one. It would not be social for me. I had to quit a few times to realize that, because at first I thought I could just do it, and then boom, oh man, I'm an actual smoker. I'm actually addicted, and I had to treat it. I can never have one. When I quit, I can never ever have one again. So that was
I know
that's a whole
lot of people
other
are like that.
It's a whole other podcast, because one of the things that I coach is smoking cessation. So if you ever want to talk about it, I'm really good at it, and non-judgy, because I've been there.
No, I know it's interesting. Sometimes, like, I will not have one unless I have a drink. Like, I have to have a glass of wine.
It's a trigger.
It's like a trigger or whatever. But the thing is, though, I think sometimes with my stress level, sometimes I will get a drink just so I can have a smoke. But my mind's telling me, just have a glass of wine and da-da-da-da. Then
Good awareness.
I know it's awareness. So now I'm like, okay, now that it's like that, you got to you got to reel it in. You're getting too old for that, all the health issues and everything. Not that I do it a lot, but still.
So CBD could be absolutely something that you could try for this. It's not going to feel the same as wine and a cigarette. I promise you, it's not going to feel the same. However, it could make you not necessarily crave those things. One of the, I call it,
I've heard that.
I call it side effects, because when I started CBD, I took it for my pain. I have herniated discs, a lot of back problems, and my anxiety, very high strung, extra too much energy, unfocused. And as I took it for these, it worked on the mood and the anxiety first. It took a while for the pain. When you have really deep pain going on, it's going to take a while to chip away. As this was happening, I noticed that I didn't drink as much. And I didn't do that on purpose, but I would literally pour a glass of wine at home, and I'd put it down, and then later I'd find the wine. I forgot I poured the wine. And that's alcohol abuse for sure.
Oh, wow.
And I'm like, who is this? I had to pour it back in. I'm like, what's going on? I forgot. So that was kind of a thing where I really put a mindfulness to the bottle and didn't do it on an autopilot to see, do I really want this? Deep breath. Am I really feeling wine? No. So my drinking at home really went down, just like drink alone, which I don't think there's anything wrong with it. I just didn't. I just didn't need
I think
it.
a lot of people do just to wind down.
Yeah. So that
from
was,
your day.
so I wasn't needing a wind down, but I can still go out and have some drinks with friends all the time. No problem with that. I'm not, so it wasn't an issue I was attempting to address, but it works. So the main thing about CBD, it works with our endocannabinoid system. That system was not even invented or recognized until I think 94 by Israeli researcher who basically discovered everything about cannabis, and Raphael Makian or something like that. Anyway, so it's a system in our bodies just like our other systems, respiratory system, I mean, everything. It's a complete system that the reason it's called endocannabinoid is because it works with cannabinoids. And we actually produce cannabinoids naturally in our own bodies. Most of us don't produce enough, so that causes like a deficiency in that system. So if you take the products over time, it puts the system into homeostasis. So we're looking at a cellular balance. So all kinds of wonderful magic can happen if you take the products on a regular basis as a ritual. We have receptors in our organs, our blood, our brain, on our skin, That's why the bath bombs are so nice, because you literally hit all those skin receptors when you dunk in the tub with the CBD bath bomb. But that's why so many people will say it works for so many different things. You'll hear the gamut, mental issues, injuries, disease, preventative. You check out your blood work after you take CBD for 3 months regularly. The numbers look better. So there's so much potential just to be overall healthier. And you can also just take it when you get on a plane because you're nervous, before you get up to speak, once in a while when you can't sleep. An as-needed approach is also fine.
That's good. I like it. I like how it helps with the nerves and that kind of thing. Anxiety as well. Anxiety is a big problem in our society today, especially for the younger ones,
Yes.
I find. At CEA Marketing, we take your business, your passion, and your why, and we sell it. If you're unsure where to start marketing your company, CEA Marketing is here to help. Our team at CEA has tons of experience and top-notch training, which helps you take all the stress and confusion out of marketing your own business. After years of working with large companies like Pulte Homes, the Outback Bowl, and Metro Places, we guarantee the successful implementation of a marketing strategy. I think that, I don't know about you, but I've always had a lot of anxiety. I think
Yes.
because we just had to have a way of hiding it. That's something that we didn't talk about. But now all these kids that are, I know that coming through from my daughter and son's age, also coming in to that I meet, I'm hearing a lot of that from several of them. I mean, even my own children talk about how anxiety ridden they are. And I just, I feel bad for them because I know, I'm like, well, I get that because I understand it, but they just seem like they're even more so. And, and I feel like they're taking other things, like who knows what they might be doing to maybe not work very well for them instead of trying something that really calms them down.
I'm almost crying a little bit right now. Like
it's a big problem.
You hit the nail on
the problem.
You hit the nail on the head, the whole thing. And I hadn't even thought about that before with me, because sometimes I think I got anxiety later in life, and I'm like, no, I've always been like this.
I've always had it.
So I relate to that. And the part that's making me feel like crying is the number of younger people that are now coming to the store that weren't coming before, saying they have anxiety, just this young person. And I'm like, of course you do. What's there not to be anxious about?
Well, especially in our world today, it's pretty scary.
That's what I mean. Like, it's always a lot, but it's more now. And also the Adderall situation for college students.
It's a big deal right now.
It's popular. It's a way to help them study, help them focus. So again, these are not pharmaceuticals. CBD and cannabinoids are natural. However, there is a way to help with these conditions naturally and without feeling high or buzzed or unfocused or unable to live your life. I would give it to a bus driver, with children. Like it's safe.
It is crazy. I mean, I've had Adderall before, and it definitely
I wouldn't give that to the bus driver. No,
find myself all of a sudden, cleaning my entire house within an evening.
And then and you have to get used to it so that and then I don't want to get used to this.
I don't know if it helps me focus, but it definitely helps me clean.
You definitely want to do it before cleaning.
Look what I just did. I did that in like an hour. Wow.
It's true. So imagine when the kids will stay up all night and study, they want it too.
Yeah.
But kids today are they're more aware.
But that's probably going to be addictive for them.
Well, yes.
Yeah.
And the side effects that come with these pharmaceuticals, it's not what you want your kids on, and they're getting, and the kids that are taking it, they're getting it from the other kids. It's not even their own prescription. So they're not even taking the dose that they're supposed to. They're taking it to study. They're taking it because just because they're not getting enough sleep and that kind of stuff. So for parents.
And then also probably with all of them being anxiety ridden, having something that keeps you up and awake is going to probably add even more anxiety to the anxiety that you already have. So you're just adding on to level of nervousness that you're going through.
Yes, it's kind of, then you're kind of just repeating, the domino effect, taking it and you think you're feeling better, but it's actually making it worse.
So tell me, like, you have some of these products sitting on the table right now. Can you talk about just maybe a couple of them?
Absolutely. I just brought a few from the store before I came in. I just grabbed some things. So most of the products are CBD based. CBD, like I mentioned, it's the main cannabinoid that is in our products, and it helps with the gamut. It's the one that helps to balance the endocannabinoid system. So inflammation, pain. They come in different forms. You can put it in a drink. We had a little bit in our water, a water soluble. Water soluble is quick to work. So if you're doing the as needed approach, water soluble is great because it works in under 10 minutes in full effect and lasts about 3 to 5 hours. Everyone's different, but that's approximate times. You can also do the oil tincture under your tongue, and that is going to take a little longer to get in your system, but it's going to last a few hours longer. So that's a great one if you're going to do it like breakfast and dinner. It will last through the day. Now, people love gummies. People come in the store like, I need CBD gummies. So gummies aren't going to work any differently than a water soluble or an oil. It's going to take longer to get in your system, about an hour, and it's going to last even longer. So it's a long lasting, so it's great for overnight. It's great to pop one so you know that it's in your system for a long period of time. And it's not quite as bioavailable, meaning you may need a few more milligrams in that gummy than you do with the water soluble, just because you do lose some in the wash when you digest. But the effects are the same. It's the same quality CBD in all the products. It's just a different way that it gets in your system. We also have raw flower and vape. I don't promote those products as a main everyday use product, more of a booster. If you're taking your tincture twice a day and you have you're having extra panicky day, having a vape would be something you can do to just like kind of get back to
Calm you down.
But you can also just do a water soluble. So there's absolutely no reason to have to smoke it.
Yeah.
But that's fast.
That's adding another habit.
Yes,
to
it is.
yourself.
Yes. The benefit of the vape is it's immediate.
Yes.
So if you were having a panic attack or a seizure, if you were able to, like some people when they have a seizure, they have what they call an aura. Like
So when you get in your system, it immediately calms you down?
Yes. Inhale and exhale and you feel better. So there's a purpose that I sell it, but I definitely try to get folks to try other products as their routine, and this one as like an as needed. We also have Delta products. So, before the Delta, I actually want to talk about the other cannabinoids that are amazing. CBG.
Okay.
CBG is cannabidiol. So that's now you know
heard
why
of
they
that
have
one.
initials, right? So CBD is cannabidiol. So we have cannabidiol, CBG. This is a cannabinoid that helps with focus. So this would be kind of what I would recommend to someone who is saying they had ADD or they were flighty or they're depressed.
Well, that's what a lot of people take the Adderall for.
That's
is
what I
the
was going to
focus.
say. So
Yeah.
I recommend, like when sometimes parents of college students come in or the college students come in, I highly recommend the CBG. It comes in a gummy or an oil or a little powder pack. And the powder pack even has a little caffeine in it. If you are looking for that, like you actually do notice that because there's caffeine.
Right.
It's very uplifting. It's very bright. It's great for your mood enhancement, energy. You could take it like at 4 p.m. instead of the second coffee. You're not going to feel like you've had coffee. You're just not going to need coffee. You know, kind of like the wine. Like you're just not, you just feel better. So CBG is our favorite product in the store. I think that all of us that work there were in love with CBG. CBN, cannabidiol. So I think about CBN as nighttime. So this one is for evening, for times when you can't get to sleep. You can do a gummy or an oil or a powder as well. This is going to be a gentle way to fall asleep, a natural way. A lot of people take melatonin, which is fine, but melatonin does have, I would call it a shelf life.
I find that doesn't really work very well for me.
Everyone's different, but
Yeah.
at a certain point, you have to stop taking it. It stops working, and then you have to wait a couple of months, and then what do you do
Right,
then?
because your body gets used to it.
Yeah, so that doesn't happen with cannabinoids, and you don't have to keep taking more and more. And that question at the beginning about addiction, You may feel like you're used to feeling good. Once you stop taking the products, you're probably going to feel the way you felt before you took the products, unless you've actually healed from something. So you are used to taking them. You're not craving it. It's not like an addiction feeling at all, nothing like that. So that's another great thing about it. You can stop anytime. You can experiment with the dose, and we help you with that. That's one of the main reasons I recommend to come in and let us consult you, ask you all the questions, what's going on, and help choose products that are going to give you, what we recommend, and in the dose that we recommend. We're going to ask you questions about your system, and you start very low and let it build up. So when you buy online, you don't always get the hand holding. You probably never do, but I don't know everyone out there who has online business.
But sometimes it's good to understand the dose that you're taking and have somebody consulting with you, because the next thing I guess would be the DELTA-8s and the different dosage that you have that you can take.
Yes.
For that, because I know that I love DELTA-8s because they're fun. You can have different levels of how you want to feel. Mm-hmm. And they can also help you sleep. But I know one time I had a clothing line with a girlfriend, and we were selling our clothes at this Armature Works over in Tampa, and there was a CBD place right across from our booth. And we went over, and they were like, "Oh, just try this sample or whatever. It's a low dose. You're gonna be okay," and everything. So we both took a sample of the thing. An hour later, we were both stoned out of our minds to the point where we just couldn't even talk to anybody because we were laughing our butts off so hard. We could just not stop laughing. I'm like, what the? My daughter's working with us, and she's like, Mom, what did you take, Mom? I'm like, I just went over there. They told me it wasn't any big deal. It was just a brownie or something they gave me. But supposedly I ended up finding out that it was this huge high dosage and I'm not used to taking it. I don't take a lot of it all the time.
Right.
And we both just went, woo. Granted, we had a good time, but at the same point, we were just like, way too much. We couldn't even drive home. We had to get someone to drive us home that night.
Wow. I think many people have their stories about something. They would call it frowny brownie, maybe. It doesn't sound like you were frowny at all.
No, literally, we were rolling and laughing.
But that was not the effect you wanted. You were trying to be professional.
It was at the end of it, though. It wasn't it happened at the very end when we were packing up and the stuff hit us, thank God. But it was
So that is not what we want to happen.
No.
I have talked a customer down a ledge because they took too much. They didn't listen.
Yeah.
So I said it before, I'd rather you have no experience than a bad experience or even an unexpected experience. So the Delta products are intended for therapeutic purposes. And we have DELTA-8 that we call the above line. So I like that it's called above because if the CBD isn't enough, we can go above. So if you are having chronic pain, take your CBD twice a day, but on days where it's really bad, you can try the DELTA-8 as needed. Not every day, twice a day. No one, maybe someone. Most people don't want to be high all day, every day for their relief. So this is something you would take on occasion, and you start with a small amount. And this is what I'm telling everyone. If you're looking, where do I look? No one ever listens to me, so I don't even know I'm going to say this.
Be careful when you drink on it.
That too, but start with your dose that you've decided to take. Typically, a half of a gummy, a half a dose the first time. If it doesn't work, don't take more. Just go to bed, start over the next day, and take a full one. Under any circumstances, because what happens is Murphy's Law. The second you swallow the second half, the first one kicks in, and now it's too much. I've had so many customers come in and tell me that, but they're back to buy more, so it wasn't that bad.
Yeah, it's I don't feel it right now, so I'm going to take
They're
another one.
Well, they liked it.
It takes a while to creep up on you, and then you're like, oh.
Yeah, yeah. So if you do a gummy, it can take up to an hour or more, depending if you have a full stomach. So we give you a lot of instruction before we send you home with above or beyond. So beyond is even a little bit stronger. And we have a sativa effect, which would be a lot of CBG that I mentioned with the DELTA-9. So it's going to be great for creativity, for the fun you're mentioning. It's uplifting, but you also get the mild body sensation along with a lot of CBG. So what do you think's in
A little bit of the giggles.
Perhaps. the Delta Indica is going to have CBN in the Delta-8. So you're getting that nighttime kind of feeling along with the Delta-9 THC effect.
More or less relaxation.
Yep, but it's magnified. So you can always start with it without and then move to above and beyond if you wanted that kind of a feeling. So again, it's like the CBN or the CBG you could do every day. The Delta products, you might want to just save it on occasion.
Right.
That's what I recommend. So, yeah.
Based on my experience, yes.
And just take a half one.
That's what I don't know. Don't take the brownie. Do not do it.
I have a brownie story too. I'm not telling it now. But yeah, I think we all, I mean,
Well, especially when you're at a place like that, you're thinking, well, what are they? They're passing them out to everybody that walks by. I mean, okay, I'll try. You know, they have the little sample things.
yes, we don't sample that stuff out.
Like, wow.
We definitely give you a consultation before we send you on your way with that. That's a little dangerous. I'm sorry that happened,
Yeah.
but you're a good sport.
I'm a good sport. Yeah, I just wasn't expecting it to be quite that, because they even told us that, oh, it's, you're just going to feel relaxed and no big deal. And I don't know. I guess you could be more sensitive to it if you don't take it all the time either.
That's true as well.
Yeah, you don't have a tolerance for it.
Well, we always recommend.
I definitely don't, because I don't take it.
No, well, you should try. You should take half the recommended serving size and at home the first time when you have no other plans.
Yeah.
That's what we always say. Just at the end of the day, when you don't have any plans, then you can see how you react to it. And if it wasn't enough the next day, you can do it again with a little more.
Yeah, that
Ease
makes
into
sense.
it. Don't put yourself in a. And plus, if it's very therapeutic and it can be very helpful to your health, but if you have a bad night with it, you might not want it again, and then you're missing out on the benefits. So there's no reason to do that to yourself.
Oh, well,
You didn't do it to yourself.
I'm different. I'm just roll with it.
Yes.
Figured it was fun.
So our other product.
Not your average Joe. Everybody will tell you that.
No, I know that already.
Yeah. So this is.
Pets. I want to mention the pet products.
Oh yes.
I don't
let's
know.
talk about the pets.
I want to make sure we don't forget. So I don't know if you guys
We
see
cannot
this
forget the pets.
ball of fur over here. She's behaving very well. But I brought
Yes. What's
my
her name?
Dipper.
Dipper.
Dipper's my angel. She's in the store all the time and greets the customers, and she models for a lot of the ads or on Facebook and stuff like that. So you'll see pictures of Dipper on Furry Friday. We have buy one, get one, 20% off pet products. So we do the oil tinctures for the pets and treats, just kind of like a gummy for us, a dog treat. And we kind of treat it exactly the same way. So anyone who has a vertebrae has an endocannabinoid system. So our dogs do. And interestingly enough, dogs have more receptors in their body than humans. That's why they will always say, like, don't let your dog get your weed. They'll get extra high, not just because they're small, because they're also more, they have more receptors, so they feel it even more.
Yeah, I've seen a high dog before.
Yeah, it's not right.
Yeah.
So
They'll run around and sleep a lot.
So there's no THC in the dog product, so that's not going to happen. You could get sleepy after taking a lot. I mean, that happens to. Yeah. That's one of the very few side effects. Just don't give it to them on a work night. They have to get up early. But no, but it's they can do it as needed. Like if they just don't like thunder and they don't like going to the vet or fireworks is a big one.
Oh, it's great. My dog is terrified of fireworks, and she's a big dog. Like when it starts to thunder, she wants to jump on the couch and sit on my lap, and she's like 70 pounds. I'm like, get off me. You can't be sitting on my lap, Lexi.
I had no idea it was such an epidemic because my last dog wasn't afraid of anything. And now I have this little dog who's terrified.
Their ears, they're so sensitive dogs.
They think the world is crumbling down. I mean, literally, I don't know what they think. They have no idea, but it's not natural for them.
Yeah, no.
So you give it to them an hour in advance because they have to eat it. So that's the only way it gets in their system is through their stomach. They won't hold it under their tongue as much as you try.
I think in Florida, though, I think a lot of times those thunderstorms come through about the same time
so
every
3
day.
o'clock, just give them
3
CBD.
o'clock, yeah, good idea. Because my poor dog will lock herself in the bathroom, and she'll be like in there shaking the whole time until I get home to let her out. She literally locks herself in the little tiny bathroom.
Poor baby. They're terrified, and if you give it to them before it starts, they're already calm, so they're not on. It's easier to get them to stay calm. Yeah. Once they hear it, especially like on a fireworks, that first boom, now they're on edge. Doesn't matter. So you want to give it to them in the afternoon on a fireworks night, and you want to give it to them early in the afternoon when it's thunder season. It also works for senior dogs really wonderfully, for like hip dysplasia. When they start getting the those lumps, like they say almost every dog ends up with cancer if it lives long enough. It helps prevent the growths, helps them stop growing if you give it to them once they're already there, helps with their cataracts, and it helps them feel comfortable in places where they used to feel comfortable. But when old pets start losing their sight and their smell and their hearing, they're not confident in the new environment anymore. So you'll notice like the older dogs are more fearful than they used to be.
Yeah, that definitely
It's because they can't control their environment. They're scared. The CBD just makes them be like, hey, all right. It chills them out and they feel better. So it's a real gift for senior
And it probably
pets.
helps their joints and walking and everything.
yeah.
I remember I had a 15-year-old golden retriever, and I used to take her in for acupuncture, and that helped. But if they would have had this product then,
I know.
I would have definitely got it for her.
Yes, it's really helpful for that too. And they deserve it.
Yeah, they do. They do. That's a lot when they're in pain because they don't know how to tell you.
Nope. You just have to
When they
keep
hurt.
your eye on them. And hey, Dipper woke up.
And what about me?
Yes. Yes. So she takes it. She had digestive problems when I adopted her. So I put a little in her breakfast, dinner, and then I keep the treats on hand for the scary noises.
Okay, well, that's a great tip because I know we have a lot of dog lovers in the audience for sure.
And cats too.
Yes,
It's great
and
for cats. Helps with fur balls.
It does.
I only know because Heather, who works at the store, gave it to her cat for the fur balls. And I'm like, how can that, how? Maybe it's not nervous cleaning or I don't know, but.
My cat's very skittish and nervous all the time. Like you have to sit on the couch for her to like let you pet her. Otherwise, like she doesn't want anything to do with her. And anybody that comes in, she's just scared to death. So that might help her kind of calm down a little bit.
We have little cat treats. That's actually the one that she likes the most.
Ah.
Those little tiny crunchy ones.
Give that to my smoky girl.
Yeah.
What about you, Ennis? Can try one on your cat. Yeah. Oh, that's great. Well, we've learned a lot about all your different products. That's so great. I know when we were talking earlier, I kind of wanted to get into this because I find it to be really very interesting and very relatable for me as well. And talk about your journey, like before you moved and kind of, I know you said you went through a really bad divorce.
Yes.
And went through a whole lot then, and how getting and moving away to St. Pete was like a game changer for you in your life.
Yeah. So yeah, we were chatting before and getting to know each other.
Yes.
So kind of my prompt to become a coach was one of the things was I was experiencing a lot of pain in my body. And I wanted a job where I didn't have to sit or stand for long periods of time. I can kind of move freely and also help people and whatnot. And so I was, just finishing my certifications and getting clients and working on websites and all those kind of things that you do when you start a business, kind of going, oh my gosh, this is kind of like the show in the business. It's like, okay, I got the show, now the business. This is the hard part. So I was working on that, and I actually went through a whole period of time. The reason I got divorced, I went through a time of minimizing, and I decided, anything that is not serving me in my life's got to go. So I started with my shoes and ended with my husband. But that it was just the way it was. It just worked out that way. Started getting rid of my things, realizing that the stuff was not making me happy. So I went through the whole minimalism thing kind of before it got really trendy, before that Marie Kondo book. I was doing that sort of thing for myself, and I did a blog for a long time about it. And I got really into it where I got rid of my stuff. A lot of my friends were not hanging out with me anymore. And then opportunities started arising for me. I had an opportunity to move to Bradenton, which is just across the bridge if you're not from here. But here bridges are make things far away. So if you live on another side of a bridge, it could be another universe. But it's about 45 minutes away, but a whole different life.
Oh, bridges are universes in the Tampa Bay area.
Yes.
For some reason, people have the I don't want to cross the bridge.
Really?
Syndrome.
Yeah. So I was over the beautiful Skyway Bridge, and my teacher that was my instructor at my coaching school in Fort Lauderdale actually lived in this house, and she wanted to take an opportunity to move to Saudi Arabia for 2 years to do something with her coaching, and her house was empty, and she wanted someone to watch it. So I did the Airbnb thing. I lived in a 300 square foot little apartment that was super cute and managed her big house. So basically I ended up with a free place to live for 2 years so I could actually incubate and create my business. So meanwhile, I'm just going to work part-time. I was,
Very creative.
I really believe that this opportunity arrived because I quieted myself down. I was like, I pushed people away that didn't belong. I even didn't talk to my own mom for about a year. I just couldn't deal with certain things, and I cleared my plate. And I ended up with this opportunity to live in this beautiful. I loved that area. I lived in a beautiful place in Bradenton. It was gorgeous. The neighborhood was amazing, nature, but I really just made soul space for myself. Just this empty space, like almost you just have an empty house. And I went and looked for a part-time job, and there was this little CBD store. I didn't know what CBD really was. I felt a little weird about it. Went in, and I felt very comfortable once I walked in. And I thought, well, I'm helping people with coaching. This could be in alignment with what I'm doing. I'm trying to make it fit because, I need the job and they're paying well. And I think this is going to be something I can do part-time. And before, a few months later, I'm running the store and, changing my whole life. For me, you can just look and say, you're lucky. I didn't have any money. I didn't have any stuff anymore. I'm living in this little apartment. It was cute, but it was like there was a bed. I mean, I could sit in the chair and reach the kitchen and the bed. Like,
oh my gosh.
I remember I was on a chair like this,
Wow.
and I had a big desk, and I could scroll, and I could just roll myself. And I was like, okay, this is my whole thing. And I loved it. It worked for me. It's exactly what I needed. And I feel that everything fell into place because I allowed myself to just be for some time, which I'd never done. I'm very, like I probably mentioned, very high strung or very energetic, a lot of extra energy, monkey mind. We all have that, I think. But
Yes, we do.
but a lot of thinking and just allowing myself to chill and be. I think that made me receptive to the gifts that happened for me. So it was a good reminder, like I need to do this again. Maybe I don't have to get rid of my stuff again. I have stuff now. But I've been very, very, very careful about what I bring into my house now. Like every old thing doesn't get in here, every old activity or person or, it takes a lot now because I don't want to go through having to get rid of it. It takes so much more time to get rid of something than it does to get it. So I'm very mindful and thoughtful about the people I spend time with. I still don't have a huge, network like I used to have. I'm very selective, and I think it helps to attract, and it helps you to be able to hear and recognize what's happening. I think we miss a lot of the universe's messages and gifts.
Mm-hmm.
Like go get a job there. I mean, I could have passed that. I could have got a job at the coffee shop and never be where I am right now.
Yeah. You don't, when your mind's so busy, you don't listen to your gut at all.
Right.
You tend to ignore all the signals, and therefore it causes you to make bad decisions.
Yes.
But when your head's open and you have an open mind about things and it's clear, it's amazing all the things that happen and what the universe can do for you. You just have to get there.
Yes. So now the CBD helps a lot.
Yeah, because it's not something that, when you go through like any type of hardship in your life, you're going to go through several, not just one normally. It's just everything's kind of like this up and down thing that but you have to, when you get yourself through it and it's rough and everything, and then once that your mind becomes clear and you become accepting of it and you're able to move on, that's when I found the opportunities open up. When I'm not like that,
Right.
and I'm stressed out case, which can happen, nothing happens. It seems like, I feel myself moving backwards, but in that time period, you just, okay, calm down, everything's going to be okay. I'm telling yourself,
Yes.
everything's going to be all right.
I knew you were going to say that.
By the time it doesn't feel like it's going to be okay, but there's always that, once you get through this and you're okay, that something's going to happen and that door is going to open, and people, whatever you're asking the universe for, it just will come right to you. But you have to get yourself to that place.
Yes, and you have to get to the place where you're actually believing it. Like you
have to believe
you can
it.
say affirmations, which
Yeah.
I think are great, but when you actually are just actually saying a word, like a statement that you believe, like sometimes I'll forget and I'll say, wait a minute, it always works out. Okay. And I actually believe that things always work out for me. And I don't think it's because I'm especially luckier than any other people. I think it's because I believe that. Mm-hmm. And that's so important.
You have to believe it. You have to really believe it.
I have my aunt says something, you're charmed, because she saw these things unfolding, like, oh no, this divorce is so bad, but look at where you're landing. Look at all this happening. Like, he took all the money, but I still, I didn't have to couch surf. I landed. Yeah. And she said, wow, that's just how the world works to you. I'm like, that's how the world works for everyone.
It is how the world works for everyone. It's like we're not just the lucky ones, and we have to work for everything, and it's not easy, but you have to believe in yourself.
Yes, I believe that.
You can't be feeling down on yourself all the time, because that will get you nowhere in life.
I know that.
Or envying other people. Envy yourself. Envy you. Love you. And you're going to find that all kinds of miracles will start happening for you also. Mm-hmm. Right?
Yep.
That's good advice for people.
It's what do they say? It's easy. No, it's simple, but it's not easy.
It
is something that you have to practice.
You do, and it takes a while. Mm-hmm. Like I had to get, it took me several years after my divorce to get myself right. I was a mess for quite a few years, and had to go through these journeys of learning lessons, again, going, okay, why did I do that? Why did I do that? Why did I do that? And beating myself up over all these different things. And then finally I realized I'm tired of putting myself through this. If you want to move on in life, if you want to be happy, or if you ever want to be able to have a relationship with somebody ever again, you need to get yourself right first.
And look at you now, you're getting married in Rome.
Yeah.
So there you go.
Went away to Africa with my kids and got some time there just to kind of meditate and think a lot and just do some things that were just completely like different and very exotic, and just put me in a whole nother place in the world just to see the beauty in just life itself. And I don't know, for whatever happened there, it just happened. And I came back and I was ready to have a different attitude about things.
Oh, maybe I need to go to Africa.
Yeah, I don't know what it was, but I mean, sometimes, like you said, you moved, and that's what I mean. For me, I had to get out of Florida, get out of this environment for a little while. Mm-hmm. And by just doing that and just getting away, just with my kids, nobody else but us. And the last week I was just there with my daughter, which I gave me even more of that time. That I really, really needed, just so far away from home and just someplace so different. But my mind could focus on not my company, not my past relationships, not all my failures. I could just really get myself back. And it was amazing. When I got back, I was feeling much better about myself. A month later, put myself online because I gave myself time away from men for a while. I need to be away from men for a while. And then he was actually the first guy I met.
Amazing.
Boom, there he was.
Wow.
Yeah.
See, so another example.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And now we're getting married in Italy.
That's amazing.
On the 19th this month. can't believe it.
Congratulations. That's so cool.
So good things can happen. You just got to tell your mind that and get yourself in a position to let it in.
Yes. That's how I got my doggy.
Yeah.
The man hasn't arrived yet, but the dog is here, and that's good.
It's a good start.
Yes, it is.
Well, that's awesome. This was such a great conversation, and I really enjoyed having you on my show. And I know all my guests out there, you're going to love listening to this. I hope you learned a lot about different things that you can do to help take care of yourself more. She has lots of great products here that I'm really excited to try. And we can also, your store, and let them know where your store is in case they want to come visit.
Yes, so my store is 1219 Martin Luther King Jr. Street North in St. Pete. So if you're familiar with St. Pete, I am right next to the Left Bank Restaurant, which is a very nice French restaurant.
I'm familiar with that.
Okay, I'm right next door.
Okay,
so that's where
great.
my spot is. Yep, parking is in the back. There's 3 of us that work there. We're all experts on CBD. We will hold your hand through the process, take super good care of you. And we do deliveries locally. So if you don't want to come out, we'll come to you.
It's great. And we'll put the link of, you have a website as well?
Yes,
And
so
Instagram?
Yeah, we can put all that down.
Okay, we'll put all the links in the show notes, along with some of these products that maybe you can send me some of the links, and we'll also link to some of the products that you discussed.
Sure.
And also for the pets as well, because I
Yes.
know the pet mommy and daddies are going to want to maybe try some of that. I know I definitely want to do that for my Smokey and Lexi, for sure.
Great.
Our furry little friends
I
deserve
know,
it too.
they do deserve it. And when they feel better, we feel better.
Well, awesome. Well, thank you so much.
You're very welcome. It was so much fun.
Yes, it was.
Yay, my first podcast.
Woo!
In the books.
You did great.
Thank you.
Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you again in a couple weeks. Thank you.
Second Soul Studios is a full-service production studio with capabilities for photo, video, podcasting, editing, co-working, and more. Our photo video studio has a number of different backdrop choices and props to choose from. We also have a gourmet kitchen set, or if you're an upstart podcaster, you'll love our 4-person podcast studio. So what are you waiting for? Visit secondsoulstudios.com to book a tour today.